So good morning everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
So today we are going to discuss a case of Ingersoll Rand problem solving approach to HRM. Hello, I am Dr. Neerja Kashive. I am working in Vivekanand Business School since 2010. My area is HR Analytics and I have done my PhD from Mumbai University in the area of HR. And it's my opening case for People Dynamic which I teach in the class, and I want to sensitize my students who have taken the subject as the HRM about the strategic role of HR. So they come up with a mindset that when they are sitting in the HR lecture, the role of HR is more about traditional role of HR. But sensitizing them, telling them about how the role of HR has changed from traditional role to strategic HR role, how HR managers can understand the real life situations, complex situations in the organization and provide a solution is my aim. That's why I have taken this case study. What is the understanding of the case?
So basically, the case is about how he changed the business perspective, also about how the traditional HR, how we have more of administrative work, he changed it to more of problem solving approach to how challenges are faced. Also, as he's the HR executive, he also introduced talent solutions framework where all the challenges it is given in much better approach and are solved in a better way. So when I was doing my study, so one thing that I was going through was what were Mundy's perspective about the changes in HR and how it was just restricted to retention of salesperson. But overall, when ma'am started giving the explanation, it was more towards how the organization is going and at the same time how they are developing it. At the same time, it was important to understand that it is not just about the Indian perspective, but also because they were going ahead in developing into other countries, it was also important to understand it is not just restricted to one countries, but going ahead will also help them in developing in other countries.
Now many of you this is a core subject and each one of you have taken. You will be taking finance, you will be taking operation, you will be taking marketing. And every time, when these students they sit in the class of HR, they think, what HR will add? What is the HR adding value to the business? Is HR only theory? Is HR only talking about the traditional old theory? So I want to talk about the strategic role of HR. Secondly, I would also want to talk about evidence-based HRM. Now, what is evidence-based management? Evidence-based management talks about when you collect the right data, information to take the decisions. So in this case also, as we'll go through further, we'll see how HR manager has taken the right decision by using the information. The case is into a construction industry. And what is the objective of the organization? They want to also add to the aim to improve the air quality and comfort with reducing energy consumption. So any organization, they are not only looking at the financial goal, they are also looking at the sustainable goal, they are looking at the social goal. In this case, the organization wants to improve the quality of air, they want to improve they want to give back to the society, and they want to use employee creativity to achieve the goals of the organization. So first of all, a HR manager has to understand the organization goal clearly, understand the vision and mission of the organization. Can you tell me what was his previous experience when he was working in the previous organization, the role of HR, the image of HR in that organization?
He has seen that in most of the organization, human resource management is considered as task based only. They are not what we can say contribute towards the giving the solution. So he was having this previous experience. So in this current organization, he thought to provide the solution as well. Not only the solution, but strategic solution.
Now we'll move to the next thing. What is the organization future? What they want to do in future? How the organization want to grow?
So the main problem they had was reducing the turnover rate in the company. So they are looking into solutions to how to reduce the turnover rate in the company and reduce the attrition. And also the second problem they had was the rate of country managers they are producing. So they were facing some challenges in that aspect also. So they are conducting talent assessment in their company to provide some skills and motivation to their employees, and so that they can take the roles for country managers and improve their business overall. If I was in his shoes, I would have done a data analysis from the past years about the employees and find out the patterns or the trends in that particular data, and then would have taken one-to-one conversations with the sales representatives and their managers as well. I would have taken surveys also, which would have helped me gain some factors which are responsible for the high turnover rate.
So the company is global, but they want to have a local perspective. That's why they want to hire a country manager. Each country will have a very different kind of demand, very different kind of culture, very different kind which has to be localized. So the country manager will be able to localize the product to that country, and therefore identification of the right country manager, how many country managers are needed, was the need of the business. As rightly said by Yash, they were looking for growth, expanding in the developing country and looking for the country managers, and those country managers have to have the required skill. Secondly, they were also wanted to hire the right people for the right job, so they came up with a talent solution framework. So can anyone emphasize what is talent solution framework, which is being explained in the case study?
Talent solution framework, they wanted to identify the gap that are there in the skills that the employees have and the skills that the company right now at this position requires. So they created a framework as to how they can reduce the gap between the skills required and the skills that are there.
Now, in the case study, they have also spoken about the turnover and predicting turnover. So how has this case emphasized on evidence-based HRM?
Evidence-based HRM is the way where we don't focus on the present, we focus on what are the evidence or the facts which are already available to us, and based on that we give the solutions or take the decisions in the company. These case-based studies help us to enhance our critical thinking as well as decision making. What I personally feel is that there are many students who are freshers and who don't even know about what exactly is happening in the corporate world. So to know the gist of that problems, the cases are helping us to know.
We'll go up with more questions, so you can ask any questions you have related to this case.
As some of us has taken HR and are planning to be HR professionals in the future. So my question is that what are the core competency and skills required by an HR manager?
Okay, that's a great question, and that question keeps coming to me every time, even during induction and all that. Students will say, should we take HR? What are the competencies needed for HR? And many times people feel that people who will take or students who will take HR are those who are good in theory. But let me tell, today I have shown a case of evidence-based HR. Now, without the data, without the fact, without understanding the business, without understanding the labor market, without understanding the business cycle, you cannot add any value. So the competencies of HR is they should have a good communication skill, they should have interpersonal skill. First comes the technical skills. So as a management student, it is very important for you to understand the concepts of HR. There are different concepts of HR. Once you know the technical skills, then the next skills which is needed is your interpersonal and communication skills. Further, you also need conceptual skills. So, if you look at, we have technical skills, interpersonal skills and conceptual skill. Now, if you move in the ladder of any company and you want to become a head HR, you need to have a conceptual skill where you need to have a skill of problem solving and analytical skill. The case is like problem solving skill. Today your CEO of the company comes and say, Mr. So-and-so, HR head, I have this problem, people are leaving. What you will do? Provide me a solution. So problem solving, analytical skills are needed.
As we have gone through the case, we know now we know the importance how data plays an important role while making decisions. On the being said that, we also know how important intuitions are. My question is how can a good manager decide when to depend on intuitions and when to depend on data?
Very, very tricky question you have asked, but let me answer this. This is also a very question very close to the debate of man versus machine. So today we are talking about AI and human beings. So can machine replace a man? or human being. So, when you are taking, what is intuition? You have spoken about intuition. Intuition-based decisions are decisions which are made by the previous experience. As a human being, we have a lot of experiences. A lot of information is stored in our mind, where as we grow, we have a lot of information. So, we take decisions based on our previous experience as a human being. And that is also very important. So your decisions in the organization should not be completely based on the machine or the technology or on the data, because sometimes data may not give you the right decision what a human being can give. As a human being, I know the manager very well. Maybe my data will say, please throw away this person or please fire this person, but I know as a person that manager is very good. So I need to use always a combination of intuition and the data. Every theoretical concept in my class is first taught, theory is taught, and then it is a case is added to it to explain the complete conceptualization of that case for the complex situation. It also completes the learning cycle. Now, if you look at Bloom taxonomy, the Bloom taxonomy says that you have to move your students from understanding to knowledge, to understanding, to application, to analyzing and creating. So the case method really helps in first knowledge is being given, student understand, they apply the case, they analyze the case, and then they can also give a creative solution to the problem at hand. The biggest challenge the HR professional are now facing is attracting and retaining the right talent. For young generation, when they join a company, they are looking not even for 2 or 3 years of their tenure. I remember my parents or my grandparents, my parents when they joined, they are looking for 10 to 15 years in the organization. Grandparents used to say that we will retire from this organization and take the pension. So, if you see retention of the young generation, matching their expectations, because these young generation today are Gen Z, today they are very ambitious, they are very career oriented, they want fast growth, and they are looking for their own career growth rather than the organizational growth. So the loyalty, you don't have long-term loyalty. So creating, not I will say long-term loyalty, but creating a loyalty for 5 years tenure is the biggest challenge the HR professionals are facing today. So student, I think it was very, very interactive session, and this case has actually opened up the ideas, change the opinion about all of you fraternity regarding the HR function. And I hope that this case provide you the idea what is the challenging role of HR in an organization, and you will always look up to HR managers with respect, and you will also have a lot of trust in them, and you will share your problem with respect to your department, your area, so that they can help you in providing the right solution. And case-based approach has also helped me in actually discussing this case in a very, very interactive fashion, in very, very interactive way. Hope you all have enjoyed this case, and we will have a next session with a new opening and interesting case for the next topic.